Hey, what's going on, folks? My name is Gray and we love anime here at Video Holocaust. But all too often people come up to me and say, you know what, I'd really like to get into anime, but I don't know where to start. And I'm certainly not sitting through 600 episodes of Naruto. And to those people, my response is always the same. I say, my friend, you need to check out the 1992 OVA 3x3 Eyes. For those of you not steeped in anime lore, you might be wondering what an OVA is. Well, it means original video animation, which is just a fancy way of saying straight to video. But this doesn't carry the same negative vibes as film, as an OVA usually can show much more than would be allowed on TV. And as 3x3 Eyes carries an 18 certificate, it's clear to see why many creators would choose to go this route. So what's it all about then? Well, the story centers on Pai, a young Tibetan girl who just happens to be the last in a line of three-eyed immortal creatures known as Sanjian. Tired of living alone in the mountains, Pai wishes to become human, and in this quest she's aided by Yakumo, who looks a lot like Brock from Pokemon's illegitimate love child. At first, Yakumo is reluctant, but when his school friends are attacked, he realises there's more at stake than Pai's wants. Oh yeah, Pai also stole Yakumo's soul, so now he's an immortal zombie. But if Pai becomes human, then so does he. And in order to achieve this, they need to find a statue called the Ningen Nozo or something or other, because it's linked somehow to the Sanjian. But they're not the only ones after it, and after a scuffle in Hong Kong, the statue gets whisked off by demonic forces. Like 99% of anime, 3x3 Eyes is based on a long-running and award-winning manga. And thanks to US publisher Dark Horse, us round eyes would be able to enjoy it also in the pages of Super Manga Blast. Unfortunately, they never finished it. However, you can read the remaining chapters online, fan-translated. And I strongly suggest you do, as they're spectacular. And speaking of spectacular, we come to part 2. When a giant hand reaches down from the heavens to snatch a pot that you've been roped into finding, it's time to scratch your head and plan anew. But our heroes get joined by a new character whose name I've simply forgotten, who quickly gets captured by demons, promised immortality if they help to resurrect the demon king Kaiyan Wang. But more importantly, we're introduced to my favourite baddie, Benares, who fucks Yakumo up in their first meeting, but after rescuing what's-her-name from the forces of evil, it looks like some much-needed R&R for our heroes, until Benares throws the pigeon among the cats with an ultimatum. He wants the Ningen Noza, and isn't going to take no for an answer. So Pai does what any girl with a sensible head on her shoulders would do, and that's face the threat alone. Yakumo, arriving too late, can do nothing. But it's not all doom and gloom. The fact that he's still alive means that somewhere, somehow, Pai must also be alive. And he vows to stop at nothing to find her. I'm not crying, I just have something in my eye, that's all. Now, I'm sure you'll agree that 3x3 Eyes may be an older anime, but it's definitely one that has grown old gracefully, with its top quality animation and storytelling. And events definitely pick up as we enter part 3. With part 3, things get a little bit more complicated, because episodes 1 and 2 were in fact parts 1 to 4, and part 3 here is actually part 1 of the second OVA series from 1995. With me so far? Anyway, events in this episode continue from where we left off last time. Only now we find out what has become of Pai and discover that Yakumo is now a lean, mean fighting machine. It seems that Benares and his demon mates need Pai alive but out of the way, so have sealed her powers along with her memories and have even gone to the trouble of enrolling her in high school. I don't know, it's a Japanese thing. But reality soon hits when a demon dolly bird attacks and Pai teams up with Yakumo once more, even though she still doesn't remember him. Now, any anime worth its salt in the early to mid 1990s usually had a video game adaptation, and in this department 3x3 Eyes was well represented, with versions popping up on the Super Nintendo, Sega Saturn, the Mega CD, PlayStation 1, my personal favourite, the PC Engine, which included a VHS cassette so you could watch all the cutscenes without even have to play the game. And if you'd like to see me play these games, then be sure to check out my gaming channel, Consoletronics. Even if you're not into 3x3 eyes, you'll at least probably get a laugh watching me try to muddle through all these games with my appalling Japanese. But before you rush off and do that, there's a small matter of Part 4. In Part 4, the stakes are raised once more, as increasingly powerful foes step up their pursuit of our heroes. While Yakumo intends to keep the promise he made to Pai that he would help her become human, even if it costs him his life, Pai simply wants to live a normal life, and is beginning to question if she even wants to remember her past. But such thoughts have to wait, as simply surviving is the top priority at the moment, as our heroes journey through remote regions of China, looking for the place that may just hold the key to the mystery of the Sanjian. Some of you at this point might be wondering why I'm showing off all these VHS cassettes when you're most likely probably going to rush out and buy this on DVD. And there is a reason for it, but only applies to you if you're planning on watching this dubbed. And that's because it's only something I've become aware of myself very recently, and that is there are 2 English dubs. One old school that you'll find on the VHS, and one more recent that's on the DVD release. So which one is best? Well, in my humble opinion, by far and away the better dub is the old school VHS one. But anyway, that's for you guys to decide. If you're going to get it on DVD, you should just watch it in its original Japanese like myself. And now I'm blabbering, but I thought I'd bring that up before I introduce to you the final part, Part 5. In the 5th and final installment of this great little series, loose ends are tied up and evil vanquished as Pai and Yakumo overcome all the obstacles thrown their way. But if I had one criticism to make, I would say it's the ending itself. I don't mean like Neon Genesis Evangelion, what the fuck am I watching kind of ending, it's just so anticlimactic. But that might have to do with the fact that around this time there was talk of a 3x3 Eyes 26 episode TV series. Unfortunately it never happened, for the same reason we never got to see a Battle Angel Alita series, and that's because even in the mid 1990s the #1 anime in Japan was still Sailor Moon, so TV networks were happy to produce crap like Tokyo Mew Mew rather than anything of real substance. But its OAV is worth a dozen Sailor Moons and has stood the test of time better than most. Check it out. Well folks, this has been my review of the really rather excellent 3x3 Eyes. I do hope you enjoyed it. And some of you might be wondering why I chose such an old anime to review when there are so many much more recent animes that are definitely worth some more attention. Well, there is a little method to my madness on this one, and that's because in Japan they've been going through a nostalgia boom of late, with many classic shows dragged from the past, kicking and screaming, and made to dance for a whole new audience. We've had new Dragon Ball Z movies, we've had a line of Rurouni Kenshin live action films, there's even been a new Sailor Moon TV series called Sailor Moon Crystal. And my spies in Japan tell me that on the top of many people's lists to be remade is 3x3 Eyes. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. So anyway folks, my name is Gray, this has been Video Holocaust. What did you think of the review here today? Let me know. Leave a comment, like the video, or subscribe. So, my name is Gray, thanks for watching, I'll have some more videos up very soon.